I think one of the reasons that women are dropping out of more sort of digitally focused roles, or roles per se in their mid-30s, is there are insufficient organisations who provide either a level of flexibility that suits them, nor investing enough in learning and development to ensure that women and men, by the way, I don't think this is solely a female issue, are appropriately equipped to do their jobs.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's an issue of women just falling out of tech roles. I think it's an issue of women falling out of roles in general. One of the things that we have to do is provide more role models of senior leaders, and we also need to recognize that our workforce is actually working much later, and therefore the critical years to sort of progress in your career no longer are limited to just the 30s.
Quite often, that's the time that they're having their families, and then they think it's hard to carry on, because I think the industry sort of positions it in a way that you have to be always on, and that's a real shame.
Why is it happening? I don't think we're doing as good a job as we should be as an industry in terms of encouraging women to come back with more flexible ways of working. It sounds obvious and really easy, but there seem to be some structural impediments to that I think we really need to look at and as an industry.
I mean, I don't think the key issue is women dropping out of digital roles. I think it's them dropping out of roles within the communication industry in general, and I just think that them dropping out of digital roles is just a symptom of a wider issue. Probably the key thing is flexibility. You know, how we work, where we work. I think those things have changed, and technology has the ability to completely transform those things.
I think a lot of women are dropping out of technology companies at mid-stage of their careers for a number of different reasons, really. In some work that Monster did, we identified that the macho culture at some of those companies actually can play a role whereby it's almost a badge of pride to work long hours, to work for it really hard into the night. And a lot of the sort of culture of this company often tends to be quite male. It's kind of beer and pizzas and talking about code ninjas and sort of sci-fi movies and things, which also can be a little bit alienating, and it's a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy.
I think the dropout is probably because it's a male-dominated industry. I think it's probably because they're not being rewarded in the same way. It may be because they're not being treated as the leaders and the people that are going to really be the visionaries to push the businesses forward.